More on this is Senior Research Fellow for the Heritage Foundation, Eugene Kontorovich, as well as retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Gentlemen,
morning.
Good morning. All right, Eugene, let me start with you on this one. So the president has confirmed that he picked up the phone and spoke directly to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Let's hear a bit of what the president had to say about it.
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
And can you tell us a little bit
No,
about
I can't do that.
Mr. President, would you say it went well?
I wouldn't say it went well or badly. It was a phone call. Yeah.
Interesting. Eugene, what do you think was said? And we are hearing reports that President Trump did warn him to leave the country.
I think we see that President Trump likes to give people, even bad guys, chances, a first chance and a second chance. And he always prefers to peaceably resolve disputes. And I think he wants this to end, with the calmest way possible. He wants to for sure make sure that the flow of drugs into the United States ends. But Maduro should get out of the way. And he's giving him a warning, and he's giving him a nice way out.
Yeah. Colonel, so let's talk a bit about those deadly U.S. airstrikes on alleged drug boats out in the Caribbean. So last night, Senator Mark Kelly announced that the Senate will now be calling military officials to testify under oath over alleged follow-up strikes that ended up killing 2 survivors, reportedly. President Trump has weighed in, saying that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth did not order the alleged follow-up strike that killed those 2 men. I guess my question to you is, why is who may have ordered the strike really a sticking point here?
It's a sticking point because the left is creating a canard. This is a false narrative. I've been in combat. Anybody who wants to understand the lethal authorization process can read my book, Operation Dark Heart. We have a whole chapter devoted to this. I've been involved in these strikes. I've worked this mission. This is a complete fiction. When you strike a target like this, incidental to combat operations or counterterrorism operations, Alex, you basically give guidance to destroy the target, period. Will everybody die the first strike? No. Will the military leaders on the spot decide if they want a second strike? Yes. So I don't believe President Trump or Pete Hegseth purposely authorized second strikes. I believe that someone talked out of school about what they observed, and then that became the talking point. That became the Washington Post Russia collusion narrative 3.0. And while I've not spoken directly to the Pentagon, I know the people who are currently commenting on it, especially Sean Parnell. Sean's a friend. And I believe Sean's pushback saying that none of this happened is true. None of this happened. So I think it's important only to the left and people like Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly himself is now under investigation for sedition.
Yeah.
This is all a distraction to take the heat off of them, encouraging members of the military to not follow legal orders.
Once again, Mark Kelly just inserting himself into things and stirring up really misinformation, as you just said. But now let's turn to those Ukraine peace talks. So Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner now headed to Moscow. This following peace talks this weekend with the Ukraine team in Florida. That was hosted by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Let's take a listen.
Progress throughout the week as we've been communicating. The end goal is obviously not just the end of the war, obviously that's essential and fundamental. We want to see the end of the killing and the death and the suffering, and I'm sure the Ukrainian side, I know they do as well, they want peace. But it's also about securing an end to the war that leaves Ukraine sovereign and independent and with an opportunity at real prosperity. So this is not just about ending a war. This is about ending a war in a way that creates a mechanism and a way forward that will allow them to be independent and sovereign, never have another war again, and create tremendous prosperity for its people.
Okay, Eugene, you heard him say multiple times prosperity. What does that look like for Ukraine?
First of all, it looks like not having Russia invade them again, that's for sure, and guarantees that that's going to happen. And we can see also that the administration has had a track record at achieving this. People thought you will never be able to make peace in the Middle East, and they have achieved a deal with Gaza, which has had the hostages released, and established a board of peace to supervise Gazan reconstruction. And I think that's what's envisioned in Ukraine. Really a new road forward with lots of investment from around the world.
Yeah. Colonel, same question to you, about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think it looks like a state of Ukraine that is essentially able to trade with the EU and Russia both. It's a place that will be without any combat forces, theoretically, and able to essentially allow the Ukrainian population to recover. Right now, Alex, they've bled a whole generation of men. They got to recover that, and they got to recover their economy. This is the best deal they're going to get.
Yeah. All right, Eugene Kotorovich, Colonel Tony Schaefer. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
this morning.
Alex.
Appreciate it.